When was the last time you walked up a flight of stairs without your calves burning? I want you to think about that for a second. Not running, not jogging, just walking upstairs like you've done 10,000 times before. If you're over 55 and that simple act now leaves you winded, legs aching, needing to pause halfway up, I need you to understand something critical. That's not age. That's starvation. Your leg muscles are literally starving for oxygen, and there's a specific reason why. I'm Dr. Benjamin Walker, but you can call me Ben. I've spent nearly 2 decades in clinical practice, and I've watched thousands of patients accept leg weakness, cold feet, and that heavy, sluggish feeling as just part of getting older. And I'm here to tell you that's complete nonsense. What's actually happening in your legs right now has nothing to do with your age and everything to do with 6 specific nutrients your body is desperately crying out for. The research on this is so clear, so overwhelmingly definitive, that I honestly can't believe it's not front-page news. Because when you correct these deficiencies, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that today, people don't just feel a little better, they transform. We're talking about folks who couldn't make it through the grocery store suddenly walking 2 miles a day. Seniors who'd given up gardening because their legs couldn't handle it, back on their knees planting tomatoes. This is real, measurable change. Before we dive in, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button right now because I'm building a community of people who refuse to let their bodies quit on them. And drop a comment telling me which state you're watching from. I personally read every single one, and there's something powerful about knowing we're all in this together. Here's what you need to understand about circulation in your legs. Your blood vessels, especially the microscopic ones deep in your calves, thighs, and feet, they're like a highway system. When you're young, that highway is smooth, wide open, traffic flows perfectly. But as you age, particularly if you're deficient in these 6 nutrients, that highway starts developing potholes, narrowing, getting clogged. Blood flow slows to a crawl. Your muscles don't get the oxygen they need. That's when your legs start feeling like dead weight. Now, researchers at the University of Michigan followed 3,400 adults over 55 for nearly a decade. What they discovered was shocking. The participants who maintained strong, functional legs into their 70s and 80s, who kept their mobility, their independence, their quality of life, they all had one thing in common. It wasn't exercise, though that helped. It wasn't genetics, though that played a role. It was maintaining optimal levels of 6 specific vitamins that work together to keep blood flowing freely to your lower extremities. I'm going to walk you through all 6 of these today, starting with number 6 and building up to the absolute game changer at number 1. The vitamin that showed a 340% improvement in lower leg blood flow in clinical trials. Stay with me because that one is going to surprise you. Let's start with number 6. And this one works in a way that most people have completely backwards. Vitamin K2. Now, you've probably heard about vitamin K for blood clotting. That's K1. We're talking about something entirely different. K2 is what keeps calcium in your bones where it belongs, and out of your arteries where it absolutely does not belong. When calcium starts depositing inside your blood vessel walls, and trust me, if you're deficient in K2, this is happening right now, those vessels become stiff, rigid, unable to flex and expand the way they need to pump blood up from your feet against gravity. A study out of the Netherlands tracked nearly 5,000 people for 7 years. Participants with the highest K2 intake had 57% less arterial stiffness in their leg vessels compared to those with the lowest intake. 57%. That's not a small difference. That's the difference between walking confidently and shuffling carefully, afraid you might fall. Here's the problem with K2. It's virtually absent from the American diet. Unless you're eating fermented foods regularly. And I mean things like sauerkraut or this Japanese food called natto that honestly smells like old gym socks. You're probably getting almost 0 K2. Even if you're eating the right foods, your gut bacteria that help convert K1 to K2 start declining after 50. You're fighting a losing battle. The form matters here. You want 7 Malawian kwaches, not 4 Malawian kwaches. 7 Malawian kwaches stays active in your system for 3 full days, giving you continuous protection. 4 Malawian kwaches is gone in hours. The dose that reversed arterial stiffness in studies is 180 micrograms daily, and you need to take it with fat, butter, olive oil, avocado, because K2 can't be absorbed without dietary fat present. K2 works even better when you pair it with our next vitamin. And this one protects your blood vessels in a way that goes far deeper than anyone realized until recently. Vitamin E. Most people think E is just for skin, maybe heart health. What it's actually doing in your leg circulation is acting as a shield. Your blood vessels are constantly under attack from free radicals, these unstable molecules that damage vessel walls, making them stiff and narrow. Vitamin E neutralizes those free radicals before they can cause harm. Researchers at the University of California, San Diego studied 2,800 adults over 60. Those with optimal vitamin E levels had 71% better circulation to their lower legs compared to deficient individuals. They measured this with ultrasound technology, and the difference was dramatic. Healthy circulation showed strong, pulsing blood flow. Poor circulation showed weak, sluggish movement. But here's where people mess this up. They buy cheap synthetic vitamin E from the drugstore, and their bodies barely absorb it. Natural vitamin E from food is absorbed 11 times more effectively than synthetic. 11 times. If you're taking synthetic E, you're wasting 90% of what you're swallowing. Best food sources are almonds, sunflower seeds, hazelnuts, and spinach. But you have to eat them with healthy fats because vitamin E is fat-soluble. It cannot cross from your intestines into your bloodstream without fat molecules carrying it. If you're supplementing, look for mixed tocopherols on the label. That means you're getting all 8 forms of vitamin E, not just one. The dose that improved circulation in trials is 400 international units daily, but split it. Take 200 in the morning with breakfast, 200 in the evening with dinner. Taking it all at once overwhelms your absorption, and most of it goes to waste. A study from the Netherlands showed that people who took vitamin E with their fattiest meal absorbed 68% more than those who took it on an empty stomach. Now, even with perfect E levels, your vessels need another vitamin for structural strength. Without it, those vessels literally start breaking down. Vitamin C. I know. Vitamin C seems basic. Everybody knows about vitamin C. But what you don't know is what happens when you're deficient. And after 55, most Americans are chronically low. Your blood vessels are held together by collagen, same protein that keeps your skin from sagging. Your body cannot make collagen without vitamin C. It's biochemically impossible. Researchers at Harvard just published findings showing that adults with optimal vitamin C levels had blood vessels that were 44% more elastic compared to those who were deficient. 44% more able to expand and contract, which is absolutely critical because your leg vessels flex thousands of times every single day to push blood back up to your heart. Here's the issue. Vitamin C is water-soluble. Your body can't store it. You need constant supply. Most people take one big dose in the morning. Their kidneys filter it out in a few hours. They spend the rest of the day deficient. That's why divided doses work better. Instead of 500 milligrams once, take 200 milligrams 3 times with meals. This keeps blood levels steady. Strawberries actually contain more absorbable vitamin C than oranges, and the vitamin C in strawberries comes with natural compounds that protect it from breaking down in your digestive system. If you're supplementing, avoid regular ascorbic acid tablets. They're harsh on your stomach. Look for buffered vitamin C or ester C instead. Here's what nobody mentions. You need to take vitamin C with bioflavonoids, compounds found in citrus, berries, and peppers. These protect the vitamin C and increase its effectiveness by up to 35%. Broccoli is actually an ideal source because it contains both vitamin C and sulforaphane, which triggers your body's own antioxidant production. Alright, we're getting into the heavy hitters now. The vitamins that create changes you'll actually notice in your legs within days. This next one works so powerfully that the first time you take it, you'll feel something happening within an hour. Vitamin B3, niacin. Niacin does something no other nutrient can do. It forces your blood vessels to dilate within minutes, creating what we call a flush. Your skin turns pink, feels warm, tingly. That's millions of tiny blood vessels opening up, allowing oxygen-rich blood to surge through capillaries that might not have seen proper flow in years. The University of Washington gave adults with poor leg circulation 500 milligrams of niacin daily and tracked blood flow using Doppler ultrasound. The results were remarkable. A 165% increase in lower leg circulation within 8 weeks. Participants reported that chronic nighttime leg cramps completely disappeared. Niacin works through multiple pathways at once. It lowers the bad LDL cholesterol that clogs arteries. It raises good HDL cholesterol that cleans vessels. And it triggers release of prostaglandins, compounds that dilate blood vessels like opening a dam. The flush people experience, and yes, it can feel intense at first, is actually proof that it's working. Here's how to introduce niacin properly. Start with just 50 milligrams after dinner for 1 week. Let your body adapt. Then increase to 100 milligrams for another week. Gradually work up to 500 milligrams over 4 weeks. Immediate release niacin is better for circulation than extended release because it creates that beneficial flush. Food sources include tuna, chicken, turkey, and mushrooms. But if you're taking medications for acid reflux or heartburn, you're probably not absorbing much niacin from food because those drugs block the stomach acid needed to break down food-bound niacin. Most effective protocol is 250 milligrams of immediate-release niacin twice daily with meals. And here's a pro tip. Take it with one baby aspirin, 81 milligrams. This reduces the flush intensity while actually enhancing the circulation benefits. We're down to the top two now. These are the ones that separate people who stay active and mobile into their 80s from those who start declining in their 60s. This next one is technically a hormone, not a vitamin, and it controls over 1,200 genes in your body, including the ones that determine whether your blood vessels function properly or fail. Vitamin D3. The Framingham Offspring study found something startling. People over 60 with D3 levels below 30 nanograms per milliliter had 77% stiffer arteries and 58% worse blood flow to their legs compared to those with levels above 50. And this translated directly into real-world function. The optimal D3 group was walking their dogs, gardening, living independently. The deficient group was struggling to get out of chairs. Your blood vessel walls have vitamin D receptors everywhere. When D3 activates these receptors, they produce nitric oxide, the master molecule that relaxes and opens your vessels, letting blood flow freely even through the tiniest capillaries in your toes and feet. Without enough D3, those vessels stay constricted, tight, unable to deliver oxygen. Here's what doctors don't tell you. Taking D3 once weekly in a larger dose is actually more effective than small daily doses because D3 gets stored in your fat cells and released slowly over time. The sun is the best source, but after 60, your skin makes 70% less vitamin D from sunlight compared to when you were 30. And most of us aren't getting enough sun anyway. If you're supplementing, and you should be, you must take D3 with vitamin K2 because they're partners. D3 increases calcium absorption. K2 makes sure that calcium goes into your bones, not your arteries. Taking D3 alone without K2 can actually make arterial calcification worse. Optimal protocol is 5,000 international units of D3 with breakfast along with 180 micrograms of K2, 7 Malawian kwaches. And this is crucial. Take it with fat, eggs, avocado, nuts, because D3 absorption jumps 50% when taken with at least 12 grams of fat. Wild salmon, sardines, and mackerel are excellent food sources with both D3 and omega-3 fatty acids that boost D3 circulation benefits. But you need to eat fish every single day to maintain optimal levels, which is why supplementation is necessary for most people over 55. Now we've arrived at number 1, the vitamin that changes everything. Pay very close attention here because this is the one most doctors completely overlook, and it's the one that showed the most dramatic leg circulation improvements in research. Vitamin B12. A study from Tufts University involving 1,200 seniors found that correcting B12 deficiency increased leg blood flow by a staggering 340% within 10 weeks. 340%. Participants went from barely making it to the mailbox to walking around their neighborhoods again. The reason B12 is so powerful for circulation is that it controls 3 vital functions. First, it's essential for making the red blood cells that carry oxygen to your legs. Second, it protects the myelin coating around nerves that control your blood vessels. Third, it reduces homocysteine, an inflammatory compound that damages vessel walls and blocks blood flow. Here's what's terrifying. After 55, your stomach produces less intrinsic factor and stomach acid, the two things absolutely required to absorb B12 from food. By 70, up to 43% of people have B12 levels so low they're experiencing nerve damage without realizing it. You could be eating steak every night and still be severely deficient. The symptoms of B12 deficiency look exactly like what people think is normal aging. Numbness, tingling, weakness, cold feet, poor balance, that burning feeling at night. But these aren't normal. They're warning signs that your nerves and vessels are starving for B12. The standard blood test for B12 is nearly worthless because it measures both active and inactive forms. You can have normal results while being functionally deficient. You need to ask for methylmalonic acid testing to see your real B12 status. Food sources like beef liver, clams, trout, and eggs are rich in B12. But here's the secret that changes everything. Sublingual B12, the kind that dissolves under your tongue, bypasses your digestive system completely and absorbs directly through the blood vessels under your tongue. This gives you 12 times better absorption than pills you swallow. The form matters enormously. Cyanocobalamin is cheap synthetic B12 your body has to convert multiple times before using it. Methylcobalamin is the active form your cells can use immediately. For leg circulation, take 1,000 micrograms of methylcobalamin sublingually every morning. Let it dissolve completely under your tongue. Don't swallow early. Within 2 weeks of proper B12 supplementation, most people notice their legs feel warmer, more alive. Within 4 weeks, that numbness starts fading. By 3 months, you're walking distances you haven't managed in years. Now here's what I want you to do. Pick just one vitamin from this list. Not all 6, just one. Start with proper supplementation. Pay attention to what changes in your legs over 30 days. Then come back and leave a comment telling me what you experienced. Your story might inspire someone else to take action. And please, share this video with your loved ones who are facing similar health problems. They need this information. Your legs have carried you through decades of life. They deserve better than being dismissed as just getting old. These 6 vitamins give them exactly what they need to keep carrying you forward. Don't wait until walking becomes impossible. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed because next week I'm revealing the 4 common medications that are secretly destroying circulation in people over 55. And I guarantee at least 2 of them are in your medicine cabinet right now. I'm Dr. Benjamin Walker, but you can call me Ben, and I'll see you in the next one.